In today's video, you'll learn about Florida workers' compensation final hearings, including what to expect and some tips that I think you should know. If this is your first time to my channel, my name's Domenic Celeste, the virtual accident attorney. I'm based in Palm Beach County, Florida, and I represent those injured on the job in workers' compensation and due to the fault of another in personal injury. This channel is all about answering your questions and giving you tips relating to Florida workers' compensation and personal injury law. Now before we get into the video, I have to show you this disclaimer, so just hold tight. And with that out of the way, let's get into the video. Alright, so what is a final hearing? Basically, it's your day in court. It's what workers' compensation law calls its trial. It's your last opportunity to get the benefits that you think you're entitled to, but that are being denied by work comp. A work comp final hearing is nothing like what you see on your courtroom TV shows. For example, instead of having a judge and a jury, you only have a judge. And instead of being in a massive courtroom, you're in a room about the size of a large office. Another difference is that there isn't a bailiff in the courtroom, but there is a security guard on call in case anything happens. Now there are some similarities too. For example, the judge does sit at a desk that is elevated above everybody else's. Work comp judges also wear those black robes that you're familiar with. There are also 3 tables in the courtroom. One for you, one for work comp, and one for the testifying witness. And the last similarity is that the hearing is recorded. Alright, so now that you know what a final hearing is, let's get into what you can expect. The first thing is, if you have an attorney, he or she will prepare you the day before your final hearing by going over all the questions that you might be asked and how to answer those questions, review of any documents that might come out in evidence, and generally going over what to expect at the final hearing. At the start of the hearing, which is usually just between the attorneys and the judge, the attorneys will discuss different procedural matters with the judge, which includes going over the pretrial stipulation, what witnesses they plan on calling, what exhibits they plan on admitting and any objections to those exhibits, and arguing any motions. And this procedural process can take over an hour depending on how many issues need to be discussed. After the procedural process is over, the attorneys then give opening statements, which summarize the facts and evidence that they anticipate will come out in court. During the opening statement, you cannot argue the law. Once the opening statements are done, then it's your attorney's opportunity to present your side of the case. And this is usually done by calling witnesses to testify, and if they haven't been admitted already, admitting documents into evidence. And it's at this time when you'll be called as a witness to testify. And when your attorneys finish calling witnesses and admitting documents into evidence, they'll rest your case, which basically means that they're done presenting any evidence in support of your claims. And after your attorney rests your side of the case, then it's work comp's turn to present their side of the case. And once work comp rests, then your attorney has the opportunity to provide rebuttal evidence, although this is really rare. And once both parties have fully rested, then the attorneys give closing arguments, which connects the facts that were heard at final hearing with the law and why it supports your side of the case. Once the final hearing concludes, then you have to wait for the judge's order, which can take over a month. If you win and workers' comp doesn't disagree with the order or there's not an appealable issue, then you'll be provided the benefits that you claim. Now when one side loses and there's an appealable issue, usually that side will appeal to the First District Court. So what this means is now you have to wait even longer for the First District Court of Appeal to either agree or disagree with the work comp judge, which can take over a year. And if you're the one doing the appealing, don't get your hopes up, because the First District Court very rarely overturns a work comp judge's decision. And in fact, they very rarely even offer an opinion on the subject. Alright, so now that we've gone through everything that you can expect at a final hearing, let's go through some tips that I think you should know. The first tip is to dress presentable. What I tell my clients is to wear something like they would wear to a nice restaurant or to church. The second tip is that you need to get to the final hearing at least 30 minutes in advance, if not more. This is the most important event in your case, so you don't want to be late or miss it. The third tip is that you should review the questions and answers that you and your attorney went over the day before. And it's even more important to stick to those answers when the work comp attorney is cross-examining you. Another tip is to address the judge as either judge or your honor and to always be courteous. Credibility is really important, and if the judge doesn't like you, you can bet that won't help your case. And along those lines, if the judge ever enters the room, you need to stand up. And lastly, don't be hostile and not answer questions. The only time you don't have to answer a question is when your attorney objects and the judge tells you not to. So as you can see, Florida workers' compensation law can be really complex, but what can you do about it? You can hire an attorney that's licensed to practice law in Florida and that handles workers' compensation cases, that represents real clients, goes to court, that knows what they're doing. And if you or someone you know were injured on the job or due to the fault of another, give me a call any time of the day or night. I have a 24/7, 365 receptionist, or you can go to my website and schedule a free consultation. Or you know what? You can just text me, 561-935-3822. But that's it for this video. If you got value out of it or if you learned something, please hit that like and subscribe button. It really helps me out. If you have a question, leave me a comment below and I'll try and answer it. Make sure that you like and follow all of my socials. And if you want to learn more about me, my firm, Florida Workers' Comp, or personal injury law, just go to my website, virtualaccidentattorney.com. Alright, so that's it for now. Again, my name's Domenic Celeste, virtual accident attorney. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.